Alright, welcome back. This is MDawg, and like I said, we'll do one more Belaya. Actually, I think what we'll do is we're going to fish a little bit at Belaya, and then maybe we'll go to Old Burg and hit Bream, unless work interferes before before it's time. We haven't been to Old Burg yet, so I figured that might be fun as well. Let's see if we can't recreate what we did there at the end of last episode, which was basically at 35 retrieval speed. Even though we can't cast really far, we just kind of rinse and repeat, see if we can't get something to bite over here. I think that last time when we caught the grayling, we were casting just about directly east. I think we were also starting the retrieval almost immediately, not really letting it fall very far. So if we pause, we probably don't want to pause long. See if we can't get a fish to bite onto it here. Of course, I'd love to use this rig, but yeah, I guess we can try the dragonfly as well. Let's see, 35, maybe 30. Let's see. How far can we get this one? Not super far. I'd love to catch it on this rig. Oh, there we go. Okay. We've got a little more strength on this rig. It's a little better. There's a grayling. Okay, that's a good sign. Can we recreate that? If we can figure out a spot to spin fish at Winding, I still think it'd be worth to go exploring there a little bit. Obviously, there's plenty of spots we can bottom fish while we're spin fishing. Throw some redworms on, catch some random stuff, but I think you have a... Ooh, that was a nice hit there. Okay, we got a good look at that fish. He's so close. Can we just... Yes. That is a nice fat grayling. Oh, 2.5. That's one of those big time graylings. What I was going to say is I think that there's probably a higher potential here at Belaya in terms of silver, if you can hit some of these nice graylings. But I don't know that for sure. I haven't... Man, we are killing it all of a sudden with this dragon bill. Little 6-gram dragon bill. I'm pretty sure this is a really inexpensive lure. 3.2. Yeah, okay. Current, let's go the other way, current. So we could have 159. We could also go lower. Yeah, it might be worth looking at some line here. Then we wouldn't even have to worry about getting spooled. We can just stay in the fight. As long as it's not a timing or something and leaves the map, we're probably okay if we get a little more line on this thing. Man, you just really hope this is another grayling. It's going to be a nice one if it is. Uh-oh. Shoot! It's not what you want to see there. It's a big boy. Alright, let's look at line really quick. So we've got 4 kilos of strength, 5.9. So we just want it to be right at 4 or under. Man, that line was out forever, wasn't it? we get a little bit more line, we could actually just let it run instead of putting all that tension on it. Do we ever go braided, actually? It's going to be a lot thinner, right? 4.5 braid is going to be so much thinner. The thing is, we want more than 110. So that's the problem, right? If we want to get 120 or like a big spool, it really costs you, doesn't it? What about with mono? Is it any cheaper to go a bigger spool of mono? No. It's a little bit cheaper, but it's probably hard to justify that right now. And we're using the Dragon Bell 2. Nope, not the Dragon Bell 4. Dragon Bell 2. That's the one we're using. It's kind of tempting to just get all these, isn't it? I have a feeling about this one. One of these two. Let's try this one. We'll get one more lure just for fun. We do have some feeders set up down there in the little white bream spot, but I don't. This is like prime time for spin fishing. I don't really want to walk away from it until we get a few more casts in. Then we'll go take a break and see what's on our feeder. Ooh, yes, yes. Oh, another nice one. Goodness. Oh, that was a small one. Alright, just for fun, let's throw on our other Dragon Bell. One we just got. Make sure you don't see a fish after it. Nope. Alright, this time we'll try speed up. Hit shift for a second, get speed up going, and let it go. And then just keep coming constant all the way in. So I think the lesson here is, instead of spending a lot of silver, if you're low level, instead of spending a lot of silver on this lure, which is the Aquila, it may just be worth going with the inexpensive Dragon Bells. The Aquila might be a little better overall, but you can cast the Dragon Bell a little farther, and we've had pretty good results with it. With this short a cast, though, you're just not going to catch a fish every cast, even in the best of conditions. So you're going to have to just keep going, and every once in a while get a fish, it looks like. At least we're getting some activity over here, though. I don't like how short the Aquila goes. It's just so light. At least the Dragon Bell goes a little bit farther. I think that little bit more distance does make a difference. There we go. We are on the grayling. Once it gets to be 9:30 a.m., we'll go check the feeders. Yeah. Now we just need to be a little bit bigger, don't we? Yeah, sometimes something we've noticed on Yama, and it seems to be kind of happening here some too. There's a chub. Sometimes the fish are hitting it on the drop. So you might want to do straight retrieve sometimes, but every once in a while you might do a mixture of straight retrieval and then just a little pause. Let that spinnerbait just drop for a moment or two and then keep it going. We seem to be getting some of these contacts on the drop. Oh, nice. Right into the rock. That one popped off too. Let's try the little dragon. What's it called? We'll look after we retrieve it. I think this is the stream or something like that. Look how many pop off. I'm apparently doing something wrong there. The dragonfly stream. Those little fellas pop off a lot, don't they? Oh, that one came off too. Maybe we need to pause. I remember when I was doing a lot of pike fishing, I would notice that if the fish hits it, you almost want to give it a little bit of a pause. Let it kind of settle on there a bit. And then kind of set it. Pull harder. Ooh, look at that. A brown trout. So we might be on another winner of a lure here. Maybe you don't have to have all the expensive lures. Or casting distance. I don't know. We're not catching any of that stuff right now. So let's just for fun look at this. Where's this place? 49 quicksilver. 23, 11, 10. Wow. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. And it's a good, you know, I usually don't start mixing it up with spin fishing till quarry, but I can see why people like doing this. And the travel cost is so low at this level for these places. If there's a decent bream spot on Mosquito or even Old Burg, you could have a lot of fun spin fishing during the sort of middle parts of the day and then bream fishing at night. Yeah, it kind of makes me want to get all the dragon bells as well as the lures that are in this series of the dragon stream, the stream one that we're using now. They're all very inexpensive, and this seems to be working really well. We could try the dragonfly long as well, although I don't think this one will go far enough. Hitting it a little lighter. Yeah. Kind of like this dragonfly stream. Let's see how much those are. You kind of just start slowly building a group of lures. So at this point we have one of them. We still could consider that, but all right, where's the stream? It's got to be this one, right? It's not the 4, it's the 2. Yeah, and we've got this one. See, these are really cheap. This one for like when it's really overcast or at night might be good. I also think that one might be good. We'll try another one. It is a partially overcast day. I don't know if I've ever used this lure before in my life, but this yellow one. Sometimes you just got to try it, you know. If you're gonna spin fish, you got to get a few lures. I mean, part of the fun is just kind of changing out lures, seeing what's working at different times of the day, different weather. We're not going to be able to get this one anywhere, are we? This is the free little spinner bait that comes with the when you get free gear from the cottage pond. There you go. There you go. First cast, marker grayling. Somebody was telling me on the stream the other night that this little flurry thing is pretty good, but the downside of it is how light it is. So if the fishing is this good at Belaya, and if it's fairly consistent, I do think it'd be worth getting a better rod, or a rod that's got a closer test to the stuff that we're using. So we've pretty much tried everything we have, right? I think so. But if you're making a little bit of silver here, and then if bream fishing really starts picking up, you could spend a couple hundred silver on a nicer rod and some lures and not really feel it. A lot of times the answer is to do what's fun, you know? It's a game after all. Just, you know, we're supposed to be relaxing, enjoying ourselves. So if spin fishing's fun for you, I mean, I think you can, even if it's a little slower than feeder fishing, there's options. And if you are playing around when the Christmas fair comes out, which I know we're about as far away from that as you can be on the calendar. I mean, not actually, but it's still a ways off. But definitely get all of the Pomar spinner baits if you're wanting to do a lot of spin fishing, especially with lighter equipment. They really are good. The regular ones and the snowflakes and whatever they've got. So I know we didn't catch anything down here last time, but I think it might be worth another look-see. Let's see. Let's cast it this way first. We might have just tried with the Aquila, which the Aquila just doesn't go far enough to really give it a fair shake. with this rod. Now we can be annoyed by the bells constantly. I guess if you are fishing up here, if you hit something, a nice fish, a little more danger in terms of not being able to keep it in front of you if it takes off to the north. We just don't have as far as we can go to the north from this spot. Not a lot of activity down here right now. Time of day too, though. That first spot we started at was good, but it also was the perfect time in the morning. It just gets harder and harder to get bites, I think, when it's middle of the day. It's nice to see that you can get just some random stuff down here on feeder. So let's try a couple other spots here at Belaya. Don't know what's the most active stuff right now, but cast a couple more times in some different areas. So this is another spot I like to use sometimes, but again, I'm used to casting over there all the way to almost the shore with ultralight. But we'll just see. Give it a couple tries. Actually, that might have been the one we started with down here. Maybe we should try the dragon bill. If this doesn't catch something. Then we'll move spots again. Doesn't seem like there's any activity here right now. Well, let's try the dragon bill. Okay. Let's see. Maybe cast it on either side of this rock. And then we'll go back to the spot that has been working for us at least a little bit so far. And we're only casting on this side of the island sort of on purpose. I mean, the other side doesn't have the same species. Also, you open yourself up to pike a little more on the other side, I believe. So part of me wants to stay and kind of get the evening bite here, but I also, since it's the first time we're going to Old Burg, I kind of want to try to get set up and really see what that bream spot looks like. Now, we're not going to have the ideal baits for it yet, but hopefully we can still get something going on pearl barley. Man, oh man. We can't buy a bite, can we? Okay. So we're back at the spot that's at least been working a little bit for us. See if we can get one more decent fish down here. Yeah, this is the active spot right now, at least for me, with the distance we can cast and the lures that we have access to. If we're going to see something, it's probably going to be here. I think overall we've had the most success casting just south of east. This was more straight east, but I really think just south of east is where we've had the most consistency. Which would be like this. Does kind of make you want to try it at winding though, doesn't it? Now, one thing to note, if you are really into spin fishing, you try it out and you're like, yeah, this is for me, I don't really care about bottom fishing that much. Instead of all these points in fisher with a feeder rod, and instead of points into ground bait, you're loading up your points into fishing with a spinning rod. And I mean, each one of these gives you a bonus to casting distance and accuracy. So not only from the spinning reel, but from these as well. So you're going to be able to do a little better, even though the test isn't perfect. So, you know, if you decide you're definitely into spin fishing, your points would be in a different place than where mine are in this series. All right, let's go check our feeders. Probably won't put the feeders back in. We'll come up here in a couple more casts, and then we'll go see what old Burg is like. Okay, let's see here. We're not getting close on any orders, are we? No. Oh. White bream roach and Gibbles. Seems like mostly what we're catching down here. Alright, it's time, Dragon Bell. It's time to come through for us. Okay. Looks like a little brown trout. So our spin fishing's at 4.2. There we go. And I will tell you that I think this is as much about time of day as anything. Getting a little bit more activity again because it's not the very middle of the day all of a sudden. Little perch or something? Yeah. All right. It's a brown trout too. Holy cow. Look at that XP though. Oh, always pause at the end, I guess. That looked like a grayling. How long had that been chasing it? No, probably not that long, but it spawned in. Just pause at the end. Just in case. Yep, that's a decent perch. Just pause at the end. Give the game time to... give you your fish. Alright, the cast after this one I think will be our last one. We're missing out on a little bit of prime spin fishing time, but I just want to get to Old Burg and get set up for this first attempt to find the bream at Old Burg. Supposedly they are at 27.54, so we're going to go see if they're biting on pearl barley there. Alright, here we go. Last cast. Speed it up, bring it in. There we go. Game rewarded the last cast. Oh, it's a perch though. Alright, that doesn't count, right? Speed up. Regular. Pause. No fish. Alright, still no cafe. We need 7 more perch. 77 silver. That's big time. That is big time. Alright, so now we go to Old Burg. Now we go to Old Burg and we put our spinning rod away because there are a lot of pike at Old Burg. Okay. This is our bream stuff, right? Yep. We're going to try pearl barley and we're going to be going 20 clip. 27.54 is right out here, I believe. It should be. Oh, I don't have the map yet. Just making sure I was remembering the right spot. 27.54, yeah. Alright. There's a lot of little spots over in this part of the world in Old Burg. Alright, so we're going to do 20 meter clip. I really want to have a map, but we don't have one yet. Alright, let's make sure we get it out there. And I think the feeder cage on the second one is lighter, so we'll have to cast this one a little harder. Make sure it gets out there. It just barely did, if at all. It's close enough though. And now the question is, what, if anything, do we do on this third rod? Just try to catch smaller stuff maybe? I don't even know. We should just go for a different spot or fish entirely, but we'll throw it out there for now. Okay, so we want to be leveling up. We'll see if this bream spot's still active. And again, we don't have the ideal bait, but we want to be leveling up harvesting baits, which means we're going to make a couple more oatmeal, then make a bunch of sweet dough for now. Groceries tend to be cheaper at Old Burg than most other places. So we need oatmeal and cheap milk. But they also run out of stock because everybody gets groceries here. Alright, so that's 3 cheap milk. Now, what are we doing for sweet dough? Wheat flour, milk, can use the cheap one it looks like, and sugar. So, Wheat flour. Do we have sugar in stock? Yep. This is what's expensive on this recipe. Wait. Is that giving me multiple portions? I can't remember. I don't think so, but... And then we'll just buy a bunch of milk. Alright, let's go check our lines. So if pearl barley doesn't seem to be working good, we're probably out of luck. We can try things like maggots and worms, and they could work some, but they tend to work better at mosquito, I think. Old Burg, you really want to get on the bream baits to dial into the bream, but let's see what we're looking at here. It's a good sign. There's fish on all three. We're not quite to nighttime yet, but they should start picking up in size pretty soon. Yeah, I think that did go just 20 meters there. Well, that one dropped off. It was tiny anyway. It's going to be a tiny bream. I mean, we just about don't want to catch those. I don't know. Maybe we put something else in? Worms or... I don't even know. Okay, so let's do this. And let's make some more oatmeal. See if we can get a lucky point on oatmeal. There we go. 27.6. Okay. And now we start the sweet dough. $27.8. All right, we're on a roll. Let's hope that the bream get a little bigger now that nighttime's coming. This might be a marker. Just barely? Yep. Yeah, we will not like it if we start catching big fish on this line. Okay, so there are roach here. What if we just throw worms in this same spot? Let's just see what happens. We really just about have enough to get another feeder rod, and then we can use that Lacerti that we're using for spin fishing on a feeder and really get aggressive on the bream. What do we unlock next on baits? Oh yeah, Semolina. Semolina's not going to help us catch bream, most likely. But we got to get through it to get to garlic dough. Garlic dough might work better in this spot than pearl barley. Pea porridge seems to be still the bait of choice for people that are catching the largest bream this week, but... Ooh. So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, Corey has been... Supposedly Corey's been okay on bream. Today. Yeah, so that's definitely using the full 10 things of sugar every time we make one. I'm just really curious, like, is this 2 kilo? I mean, hopefully we'll get it in because I want to see, just for comparison's sake, what is this? Definitely seems like a bream. It's getting more and more tired pretty quickly. Definitely not trophy size, but it could be 2 to 3 kilo, I would think. Alright, so we're using basic bottom on both the first and second rod. I am going to change this one back to Paternoster just to do a little bit of testing here for the rest of the night. Make sure, see if there's any noticeable difference. This is a nice bream, by the way. 3.8. Very nice. Alright, let's go Paternoster. Everything should still be the same. Cast it back out there. That is a nice bream. And if basic bottom just seems to be better, we'll switch the second one back to basic bottom. But I don't want to assume that it is, just because it seemed like it was at Mosquito. Let's test both a little bit more here at Old Burg. What is going on with this one? Let's lower the friction brake. Might be worth going and seeing how the cafe looks. Next time we've got a free second to go run to town. This spot is nice. We are so close to town. We can do a couple things here and there. Spin shot. What are spin shot lures? Spin shot. I'm not familiar with spin shot lures. I'll try to find them in the store though. Man, we've got to get a map. Wonder what he means spin shot. I don't... Oh! Spin shot 1, 2, and 3. I forgot about those lures. Red and white and black and white. And these are sort of medium priced. So what would be best for our setup is this one. We could actually cast this pretty far. But I'm guessing what works at best at Belaya are the little fellas. But we'll see what the person says. What were we here to do? Cafe. That's interesting. First time here. No bream order. Let's see how much these bream are going to be worth. 16 silver. Bream just add up really well. Typically, if it's a good bream spot, it's because of the volume you're catching. And it's just, even at a low level, you can have a good night, hit 100 silver. Now, I don't know that I'm not sure this spot is active enough for that at the moment. We obviously need to get three feeders set up to have a chance, but with what we did at Belaya, if you can then pair that with a nice bream, some good bream fishing, you could really have something going. Yeah, this seems a little slow right now. It is that 2 to 3 a.m. time that we've talked about, though. I gotta get some just basic food. I hate for my fishermen to be hungry. It doesn't really matter, but it's just frustrating. That should be a marker. Another like 1 kilo bream, I'm guessing. Oh, not quite. But from what I've seen, I think we're okay on pearl barley. And I guarantee you, well, I don't want to say I guarantee you, but other bream spots are going to pop up on Old Burg. It's like constant. Just, it's like wait a week and you'll know, and you'll find out about another good one. And even just like making this video, somebody will probably watch this and be like, you know what? I just caught a trophy bream at blah, blah, blah on Old Burg. So there's always good bream spots popping up. All right. Not strong enough to pull away from us, but over a kilo. That's what we like to see. So the other thing we need to level up is our ground bait, right? And you can start to see why it feels like you just never can make enough silver early on in this game. But and I don't even remember what it is. Is it 30% where we can make? Well, I can tell from looking at it. Yeah, 30%. 30% we can make bream ground bait. Then we're kind of set for kind of where we are right now. Second level, we can make pearl barley as a mixture, as a base. So that'll help a little bit. And then third level, we can use anise oil. Then we have the complete bream recipe. But if bream is going to be, you know, the way your bread and butter of making silver, you don't want to leave the bream spot till 8 or 9 a.m. So obviously that cuts into your valuable spin fishing time, at least at Belaya. But if we could get something going at winding during the day, that would be even less travel cost. We could probably do something a little more productive with the feeders at the same time. I don't know. We just have to keep playing around. There certainly are things you can do here at Old Burg during the day, though. Even just like hit crucian gibbles and that kind of stuff, and work on your just random cafe orders or whatever. But cannot believe how far down it is till you start getting night crawlers. Thankfully, you can purchase them. But getting night crawlers and fish pieces gives you more options as well. We want a couple more really nice bream to come in just so it's not too slim of a night. You know, even if it's the spin shot ones that are working the best, it might be worth us trying one of the spin shot twos, because like I said, we're gonna be able to cast those so much farther. See if we can get anything going on those at Belaya. This is like perfect bream time. What's going on down there? Yeah, we just need to find a new spot. Gotta find a more active spot than this. Even though the bream are here, they're just not here enough. There are so many different bream holes or bream spots at Old Burg. I mean, we could just start trying them, but I was just trying to scroll through our Discord, see if anybody's posted any bream spot information recently. The last bream trophy I see information about was called at Bear. That's not helpful right at the moment, but that is interesting. Oh, maybe he responded about the lures. Let's see. There we go. Another nice one, hopefully. And I've said this before, but you know, you end up catching bream trophies at a lot of different times, but I feel like the most frequent time to see the really healthy sized bream is right around 7 a.m. So even though you're catching nice ones all through the night, you're kind of holding your breath right there between 6 and 8 a.m. hoping that this will be the day I get that trophy. Yeah, I mean, especially if you're a little higher level and trying to hit the trophies. But at this point, we're not worried about trophy. We just want to see a healthy bite rate of bream. I'm intentionally casting this line a little shorter, just seeing what we're getting on worms here. Yeah, so it sounds like the larger ones don't work as good, the small ones do. So maybe not something we could do a whole lot of, at least at Belaya, unless we get a rod that will cast the lighter lures a little better. That's really our problem. There's lots of options for good lures if you can successfully cast the ultralight size lures, those like 5 gram and under. But I do think that, you know, if at some point we prioritize getting one of those arrow spinning rods, or we can look at different options, that may help. It may even be worth getting one that's a lighter load capacity and just sort of suffering through the long fights just to be able to cast it farther. I don't know. Those graylings are worth a lot, though, for our level. And those brown trout, the XP and the silver is really nice, so it's kind of interesting. And if we get on some good bream spots at night, it's really you're just kind of icing on the cake at that point if you catch a couple nice fish during the day, spin fishing. All right. So I guess we sit here till about 8:30, about another in-game hour. It's really disappointing. I was expecting this spot to do better than this. I mean, we're still making some okay silver, but and we do need to get the third rod set up. I mean, that needs to be a priority. I think our first priority, other than like leveling up bait, harvesting, and that kind of stuff, I think our first priority is going to be getting that third feeder going. With a Sputnik. There's another one. That's good. That helps. Can we get one or two more? Whoa. We just hooked into something we don't want to be hooked into, I think. We may not get this fish in, and we may just have to be okay with it. This is why you don't bring Sorrentos and Sparks to Old Burg unless you're fishing in the pond. I mean, this is Old Burg. This could be a common carp. I mean, there's no telling. It's probably not. I mean, this is such a small little rig that there's a lot of things that could run like this. It could be a bream. I mean, worms are known to catch bream sometimes. We have over 1,000 worms now, by the way. We do want this to turn left here, by the way. Stay on this side of the island and not go behind the island, and because we'll certainly never get it out, even if it gets tired. We might get this fish in. It has slowed down significantly. So from reading chat, it looks like maybe bream are just a little slow at Old Burg right now. I think we're like 3 or 4 days too late. I mean, I remember people talking about how good they were a few days ago, but they must have slowed down and just the new spot hasn't been found or hasn't popped up yet. But it won't take long. And thankfully, we've got plenty of other options right now. Even bream at Mosquito. Somebody was telling me that they were catching better bream than we were at winding using casters as bait. So, I mean, there's lots of things we could try. We are going to get this fish in. Is it a bream? Oh! Big boy perch. That's just straight up weird. There's your sign. Alright, so this is some really good info actually. Let me look at this spot that they're talking about. So this is 7170. That is basically the very northern tip. And I'll have to see. I can't really visualize exactly where he's saying. All right, so let's go look at the store so we can kind of comprehend, review what he's saying. And he is, and what he's describing is going for the type of rod where you have very low load capacity, so you're just going to really fight those big fish. But it's probably super fun, and the test is small, so you can enjoy the fight and cast farther. So let's sell our fish here, then let's go look at the store so we can actually visualize what he's describing. Let's see, still nothing has popped. By price, 16, 10, 6, 8. Sorry, 8, 8, 5, 5. So as you can see, once you get to a kilo, the price jumps up. Even that, 63 silver. I mean, so we made like 130, 140 silver. I mean, we are starting to do a little better per hour. We're getting there, at least at times. Okay, so he's using Express Fishing Corona and the Sputnik, 4.5 Sputnik. So let's look at the rod first. He's using the very cheapest spinning rod, the Corona. It's this one. And that's the only one that has a low enough test, 2 to 10. So if you wanted to get one better than that, what would it be? The Arrow, right? It'd be this Arrow, but load capacity is only 2.7. I don't really know that you're doing any better. You're really not. It's not worth it. So you're getting this rod, which only costs 19 silver, but now he's... What is he using? The Sputnik. So you're talking about 261 silver for this Sputnik, because it has to be, this is what we need to check. It has to be a 2000 reel. So is that the cheapest 2000 reel? 2.5 is a load capacity, so you're not getting... You technically could use this one. A little cheaper, but I don't know if that's worth it. Or this one. That's enough strength. You could use the Lagoon HP 2000S, save a little bit of silver. Or you could use this one. That's cute. This would be perfect, right? Is there a spool? Are we getting spooled all the time? Maybe, but it's a lot cheaper to go this route. In fact, we could afford that full setup right now. It's 3 kilo. Is this one 3 kilo? Yeah, or you could do this one. What's the difference here? I guess, or you could do this one, right? This is a 2000. This is 1.5 star. This is half a star. It's probably worth going to this one. Line capacity at 0.14 is 260 meters. What are we getting on the Sputnik? It's not any bigger, it's smaller, right? I think this is the answer. And then what kind of line are you going to use? I mean, line is where you want to probably go for it. It's going to cost some silver, but 3.5 is awfully thick, isn't it? Yeah, and you want the 3.2 liter, I'm guessing? Do we not have a 2.5 load capacity? Do we really not have a smaller... Yeah, until you can make your own. You may even not need a liter, to be honest. You may not even need a liter. It might not affect your bite rate very much if you just ran it without a liter, especially with the current. You're mostly doing fast retrieval. all this braid is... At least this has 3 kilo. It's just all too strong. You really risk breaking your stuff. So do you have to run mono maybe? Maybe you just have to run mono. So you go 2.1 mono. Try not to break it. I don't know. You almost want to get every ounce of strength you can. And then just never put your friction brake up past a certain point, maybe. .3 is kind of close enough, probably. 2.3. And hold your breath, huh? 2.3 and hold your breath. That's interesting. Then all of a sudden we can cast the light lures. Boy, we're going to feel every fish, aren't we? Kind of sounds fun. Does it, though? I think it does. So we spend a little bit of silver. Oh, man. Maybe the first thing we do is get this, though. Just so we can have 3 feeders. We feel better about our lives if we do that first, don't we? All right, we've got some thinking to do. We've got some thinking, some processing. We also want to keep leveling up harvesting baits. Okay. Well, this has been fun. This has been really fun trying out Belaya. At least dipping our toes into old bird bream. I don't think we go for bream again. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Wasn't there a... Do we want to try something else really quick? No, we shouldn't try this. There's a tench spot at Old Burg that I kind of had my eye on. But it's just not for us. The problem with it is it's not in a safe place and you're going to hit grass carp. You're going to hit grass carp. It's not safe. We'll have to wait and figure out a spot we can fish for tench in a safer spot. Really what you want to do is fish for tench down at the bridge. And we will do like a full episode here at Old Burg and go over the pond, the bridge down at the pond. Oh, that's weird. We need a map. Where's the admin here? It's right here, right? All right. This is where we need to fish, down in F8, casting towards the boot. Just catch tench, hopefully, but also just a load of crucian gibble roach, that kind of stuff. We just have to watch our hook size. But if you do hook into something a little too big, you can then make a decision. Do I want to just try to tire out the fish and catch it? Because it can't spool you. It's down here in this pond. It's going to swim away from you almost every time. So that's kind of that's the option. Okay, I'll keep my eye open for spots, and we'll decide more kind of what we want to do on the spin fishing. But thanks very much for watching. Let me know if you have suggestions or how your fishing is going, and I will see you soon. Thanks again.